One of the biggest mistakes that we make in relationships is when we invest way too much in somebody and in a relationship that's ultimately going nowhere. And I think one of the biggest reasons we make this mistake is because we don't really understand how a conscious relationship or a healthy relationship should progress when it's going somewhere. So in this video, I actually want to talk about just the first couple of months of a relationship and what you're looking for and how you know that the relationship is on track to go somewhere and it's worth continuing to invest in. One of the biggest things that we focus on in our classes is not wasting time. And because you know as well as I do that time is just our most valuable resource in life. So you don't want to invest your time, your attention, or your energy in somebody when it's not going anywhere. Now, of course, there's no way you can do this entirely because you're going to have to invest some time to get to know somebody, and most of the relationships that you have or most of the people that you have an interest in ultimately are not going to go anywhere. So you do have to invest some time, some attention, and some energy into anybody you have an interest in to determine if it could go somewhere. So the question is, how much should you invest? How much should you put into a relationship to discover if there's any real potential and if it's going somewhere? And what I'd like to talk about in this video is what I call the discovery phase of a relationship, which is really only the first 3 months. Often it only takes a month or two to complete this first piece of a relationship. Now, the first thing I want to say is that most of the people you date or most of the people you have an interest in will not move beyond these first few months, and that is totally okay. I think it's so important that when we meet someone and we have a genuine interest in them, which is an amazing thing. It's a really great thing to meet somebody and to have that interest in them. But I think we also need to acknowledge that having an interest doesn't mean that it has to go somewhere, that it's supposed to go somewhere, or that it will go somewhere. Because many, many times we have an interest, we have a great connection, and that's all it is. It's an interest and a great connection. And when we try to push that interest and push that connection to be more than it is, we end up over-investing in that relationship, and we end up wasting our time and spinning our wheels in something that ultimately becomes very frustrating and very heartbreaking. So in this discovery phase, there are 3 things that you want to look for, 3 things you want to establish, I should say, and you can establish these 3 things within 3 months. And if it's dragging on into the 4th month and the 5th month and you're still struggling to establish these really basic things, that's your sign, that's your signal that this relationship is not really going anywhere, that it doesn't really have a future. So what are these 3 things? Well, the first one is that you're both interested in a committed relationship, that you're both looking for a committed long-term relationship, partnership, whatever you want to call it, but you are both interested in the same thing in this respect. And I often say on your first date or first few conversations, it's totally okay to just say, hey, listen, before we both get too invested here, I just want to know, Are you looking for a relationship? Because I'm looking for a relationship and I don't want to continue to invest and then find out down the road that you never wanted something serious. So that's a great question and an important question to ask very early on. Establish that you're both looking for a relationship, not that you're gonna have a relationship with each other, and that's an important distinction. You're looking for a relationship. It's still yet to be determined if you're gonna continue to explore that with each other. Now, the second thing you want to establish is just that, okay, we want a relationship and we see true potential to have that with each other. And this is what takes maybe a couple of months sometimes, 2 months, maybe 3 months. From the time you meet and start dating and you're talking and getting to know each other, you establish that we both want a relationship and then ultimately come to a place where you say, you know what? I really like you and you really like me and this is going really well. It feels really good and I'm really excited about this and it seems like you're really excited about this too. And I want to see where this could go. I want to actually invest in this relationship with you. Do you want to make that same investment with me? Do you want to invest in this together and see where this could go and see what this could become and see what we could create together? Now, this is not really that difficult of a conversation to have if you've already had the conversation of we're both looking for a relationship. So if you establish that on the front end, that we're both looking for a relationship, then you've already had half of the conversation when it comes time to say, listen, I really like you. I really like where this is going. I'm really excited about this. I'd really like to see where this could go. I want to see what potential we have. And once you bring that up, it should be a very natural next conversation. Which brings me to the third point. Once you establish these first two things, the only thing left to establish really is that you are going to be exclusive. That, okay, we've had an opportunity to get to know each other. We like each other. We're excited about this. We're excited about the potential. We'd like to see where this could go. We want the same things. We're both looking for a long-term relationship. Now we've gotten to a point where we make the decision that we're going to be exclusive and that we are going to seriously invest in this relationship, and we're going to seriously see where this relationship could go with each other. So we're going to stop seeing other people. We're going to make this exclusive, and we're going to explore our relationship because we think it's worth it, because we think it has real potential, because it's exciting for us, and because we want to see where it could truly go. And as I've been saying, it only takes about 3 months to get here. And sometimes I know my wife and I, we established this after about a month and a half, maybe 6 weeks or so. We were really clear that we really liked what we had. We were really excited about it. We wanted to see where it would go. And we just simply made an agreement that we're going to invest in this relationship and we're not going to see other people. And my point in bringing this up is because bringing it back to the topic of this video is, how do you know if a relationship is actually going somewhere? The way you know that it's going somewhere is because you establish these 3 things that I'm talking about in the first 3 months. So you establish that you want a relationship. You establish that you want a relationship with each other, and you make a commitment to be exclusive and honestly give your relationship a chance and see where it goes and exclusively invest in that relationship. And if you do those 3 things in the first 3 months, that is a really awesome sign that this relationship has real potential to go somewhere. And as I said at the beginning of this video, one of the biggest mistakes we make is investing too much in a relationship that has no real future. We invest too much in a relationship that can't really go anywhere, it doesn't really have any potential. And that's what I said. If you start getting into the 4th and the 5th month and you still haven't established these 3 things, you've got to acknowledge that, you know what, I don't know if this relationship has much potential. I don't know, I often say that if the person that you're with is preventing the relationship from taking its next natural step. You see, I'm not talking about you forcing it. I'm just saying that if we were both interested in each other, if we were both interested in this relationship, if we wanted the same things and we were excited about moving forward with those same things, the relationship would naturally be progressing into the next stage. And if you're dating somebody and they are stopping that, they are blocking it, they are preventing the relationship from taking that next natural step, you've either got to get together and be like, look, we either need to move on in this relationship or move on out of it. But we're at a standstill right now, and the relationship is not progressing and it's not growing. And a relationship that's not growing is a relationship that's dying. So how do you know if a relationship is going somewhere? You know it because you establish these 3 things within the first 3 months, and you take that next step into being exclusive and honestly giving your relationship the chance to see where it goes. And I'd love to hear your ideas on this. Have you been through this? Have you been in a relationship where you established these 3 things in the first 3 months? And where did it go from there? I'd be interested to hear your thoughts below, so let me know. Thanks for watching today. Have an awesome weekend.